All right. Here's one of the videos I wanted to watch. Level 85 miner day. And you get fun outfits. Oh my god, you in the outfits. Like the cowboy outfit from miner. Oh my god. Alright. Here we go. Lies, broken promises, and the death of Google Stadia. Been wanting to watch this for a little while. It came out like 12 days ago. So I'm a little behind on that one. Okay.
In 4 decades, gaming has evolved from a niche hobby to a multi-billion-dollar industry. Sony and Microsoft gained ground 20-plus years ago,
There we go.
cementing themselves
YouTube
as
was
integral
struggling there for a
parts of the
second.
business. Recent years have seen other non-gaming enterprises enter the race too, hoping to cut themselves a slice of the very lucrative pie. But unfamiliarity with game development's myriad idiosyncrasies placed the likes of Amazon in a difficult position, thus resulting in canceled projects and layoffs. When Google threw its head into the ring with Stadia, the expectation
Google
was
just
that the
doing anything
conglomerate had
besides
learned
being
from its
Google.
competitors' mistakes. However,
They
Google's
always
penchant
fail
for
at.
abandoning risky ventures left many to believe Stadia would constitute a yet another short-lived experiment.
Like,
The
I heard
company wasted
recently the
no
only thing you
time
can do with the
proving
Stadia
its
controller
skeptics
now
right.
is that they had like one last
Stadia launched
update
as a cloud-based gaming
to make it a
solution
Bluetooth
designed
controller.
to lower the barrier of entry to AAA experiences. On top of investing on a technological
Sorry, you're doing
level,
11 with
Google also positioned
Chocobo
game
outfit? Oh,
creation
God.
at the forefront of its vision. Ambitions of producing multi-million-dollar IP informed its lofty goals, engendering the establishment of the Stadia Games and Entertainment division that oversaw first-party studios. Unfortunately, pre- and post-launch missteps later revealed that Google put the cart before the horse, building advanced technology
No, not Google
before
putting the
partnering
cart
with
before the
developers
horse.
Who knew how best to leverage it. And when
It's not
a
like
team
they
of
have a
industry
history of doing
veterans
that.
did finally come on board, senior leadership expected near immediate results without the necessary resources in play. As a result, Stadia's quick demise is far from the only victim of Google's mismanagement. This is the tragedy of Google Stadia.
Is it a tragedy though? Or is it just history repeating itself?
This video has been brought to you in part by Instant Gaming.
Instant
Gaming is your one-stop destination for cheap video games. Shop here and get your favorite
cheap
titles
video
on
games.
Steam, Origin, Battle.net, and Uplay
Sure.
for up to 70% off and delivered to you instantly. Follow the link in the description and use our unique code with your
I've never heard
purchase
of
to
Instant
support the
Gaming, but
channel.
okay.
Be sure to check out Instant Gaming's giveaway page as well to get a shot at winning all sorts of
Also, they
amazing
put out
prizes.
gear sets that are pretty
Stop
good. Fighting
paying
gear,
full
almost
price for
every day
video
for captives
games
too.
and choose Instant Gaming. Only a handful of people led the charge on steering Google towards video games, an initiative that began in earnest after Chromecast's July 2013 launch. Majid Bakar, VP of Engineering for
I'm telling you,
Stadia,
every time
disclosed in
Google
an
does something
IGN
that's not just
sit-down that
being
the
Google,
beginnings of such interests
it's
stemmed
just
from discussions about running games on Chromecast.
it's usually a bad idea.
Bakar and his colleagues felt the obvious answer rested in exploring the capabilities of cloud gaming. The goal for Google Stadia in its earliest phases centered on creating a platform for AAA developers
Did that say this
to easily
whole
ingratiate
sponsored by
themselves
Google?
in, one capable of rendering more immersive and realistic worlds. According to Bakar, roughly 18 months of time and effort produced a prototype whose functionality connected standard broadband
That'd be me in
to
an
Google
office
data centers.
job.
Continued iteration eventually yielded a demo that
I would try to look the
reliably
least
ran
like
Dune
an office worker.
2016. An internal showing of the demo at a Google engineer's home helped sell the potential of game streaming to higher-ups. The subsequent backing of company leadership allowed the cloud-based gaming crew to scale up, though rumblings about their objective wouldn't hit the airwaves until 2018.
Microsoft, at Atari, at Sony, and Stadia is already earning the nickname the Netflix of gaming. Is that really the right analogy?
We see it as the new generation of game platforms that combine the world of watching.
Former
We're
PlayStation
brand
and
new.
Xbox executive Phil Harrison joined
We're the
Google in January
future.
2018, assuming the role of Vice President and General Manager. Specifics regarding Harrison's duties were kept under wraps at the time, yet the public later learned that Google hired him to captain its new gaming vertical. Chatter about the conglomerate dipping its toes into the games industry initially surfaced days after Harrison's appointment, courtesy of a report via The Information. The publication claimed Google had spent 2 years designing gaming hardware and a streaming service codenamed Yeti, with an earlier version of the technology built to function alongside Chromecast. Reporting from Kotaku.
See, the problem is, even if this had worked from the get-go, it's like
sources who alleged that Google's gaming initiative involved a
the only
approach.
way it would be for
a streaming platform.
The only way it'd be for everybody is if they literally just handed everybody in the world access to the best internet connection. Because I have pretty good internet, but even, especially lately, sometimes late at night especially, it'll get disconnected randomly, or it'll like dip for no reason. And that can fuck you up in a game, especially if it's an online game. So unless they were literally gonna hand out what's the best internet connection? Like, is it fiber optic cables and shit? The expensive shit? Like, unless they were gonna hand that out, this was gonna be for a very, very small community of people, even if it worked out the door. Oh my god, Google Glass, I remember that shit.
New hardware, and an intent to acquire and recruit talent from across the industry. The pursuit of recruits and development partners began with 2018 trade shows, specifically that year's GDC and E3 events, at which Google officials courted multiple publishers. Sources familiar with Google's operations likened Project Yeti to NVIDIA GeForce Now, wherein the technology offloaded a game's processing power to data centers, thus permitting even the most basic PCs to seamlessly run major AAA titles. However, not everyone felt confident in Google's ability to pull off such a feat. Developers who spoke with Kotaku
I wonder if it's because of Google's history of having bad ideas.
Lacking access to high-speed internet. Others tempered their expectations based on the company's less than stellar track record of investing in fresh ideas. Google
even the places in the US with the best internet, they still have lag.
2018 as a technical test to solve some of the biggest challenges of streaming. A partnership with Ubisoft positioned Assassin's Creed Odyssey as the demanding application that would assist in achieving these ambitious ends.
Did you hear about Ubisoft's boss getting himself in trouble because he was like blaming the workers,
ancient Greece setting from a Chrome browser,
basically putting it on their shoulders to like step up and to fix everything?
Barring a few hiccups,
like he sent out like an email or something to made a statement
solid experience
to like the developers and stuff,
by the service, acknowledging the need for improvement on some fronts, but believing Google had set the stage for a game changer.
He basically said the ball is in their court, and like everybody's like,
plenty of excitement.
I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the problems in Ubisoft is like on his shoulders, and the rest of the like top brass, the top peeps. Sounds like a piggy movie. Yeah, Ubisoft. Every time they take a step, it seems to be in a bigger pile of shit.
Notable Assassin's Creed producer Jade Raymond departed Ubisoft in 2014, later founding EA's Motive Studio in Montreal. After leaving Motive in late 2018, the producer became vice president of a then unknown Google endeavor. Within a week of this news going public, Raymond's role and Google's plan for the future of media streaming gained clarification during a GDC 2019 keynote. Raymond joined to head up Stadia Games and Entertainment, the company's first-party studios division designed to craft exclusives for Stadia. The all-new streaming solution eliminated the need for a next-gen console or high-end gaming PC, instead letting users navigate interactive adventures via internet connection on a wide variety of platforms. Stadia additionally promised seamless connectivity between devices, exhibited with a GDC demo in which someone playing on a Chromebook switched to their phone and later a PC, picking up where they'd left off in-game during each instance. Worldwide data centers powered the service in 200-plus territories,
it's not going to be seamless.
Through millions of
not.
miles of fiber optic cable. Onlookers were especially intrigued by Stadia's supposed output capabilities. Google VPs Maj Bakar and Phil Harrison swore the architecture could support games in up to
Are these Stadia
4K
exclusives in the room
HDR
with
at
us right now?
60 frames per second. Bakar added that future targets for the technology included 120 frames per second and 8K resolution.
8K.
A dedicated
Jesus
controller
Christ.
represented the platform's sole hardware component.
Listen, I don't even have
State-of-the-art
4K.
streaming
Let's just back it up a
technology and
second.
gamepad could only offer
Let's
so
hold
much
on.
without the backing of quality content, however. Hence the significance of Stadia games.
I feel
and
bad for the
entertainment.
developers that were developing exclusively for the
During
Stadia.
Stadia's GDC reveal, Phil Harrison insisted
Like, they didn't
Google would
find out
supply
it was
developers
shutting
with
down
full access to its data centers.
until they literally
The results
announced
of
it like
such
on Twitter or
assurances
something.
later proved underwhelming. Only 12 launch titles were announced the week ahead of Stadia's November 2019 release. The Tomb Raider reboot trilogy constituted 3 of the 12. AC Odyssey, Mortal Kombat 11, and Red Dead Redemption 2 helped fill out the lackluster list. It didn't escape public notice that all of Stadia's
believe
day one
Amazon is trying to copy this
experiences
Travis
were
Fire.
older
Listen, there's still
third-party
game
titles that many
studios
had already enjoyed
and
Yet the promise of
people
Stadia games
in
and entertainment
certain
beefing up the
industries that think
content offerings with
NFTs are still the
exclusives
biggest
held a
thing
lot of
around.
sway, especially on the heels
They're
of Division
delusional.
head Jade Raymond unveiling Google's
Like,
first
they're
game
not-
studio.
They don't
Oddly
live in this
enough, when
reality.
Stadia's launch day finally came.
They've built
the
this
dearth of new
world
content
inside
counted
their
among
brain
the least of an early adopter's worries.
where
Stadia
bad ideas
dedicated
are good
Reddit threads,
ideas.
previously filled with enthusiasm, turned into sounding boards for disgruntled customers overnight. Many who'd pre-ordered the hardware and access codes with the Founders Edition didn't receive their goods on day one. Meanwhile, release day buyers obtained their account information on time. Such circumstances proved particularly problematic because Google awarded unique display names on a first-come, first-served basis, meaning numerous would-be owners of the Founders Edition weren't prioritized as promised. Early adopters further faced
Shocker.
issues related to poor visual quality and latency troubles that made the likes of Mortal Kombat 11 unplayable. The absence of wireless controller support and achievements exacerbated
Look,
the
you
problem in the
saw what
eyes of
happened to
day
the
one
Stadia and I
customers.
was like, this time
As
it's
the
gonna
weeks
win.
wore on, the broken promises sparked questions of whether Stadia's turbulent arrival had put a blight on its chances at success.
Yeah, that check
The
better be
realization
good.
Destiny
That better
2
be
and
covering
Red
your
Dead 2
your
failed to
ass for
operate at
years.
true 4K resolution didn't inspire much confidence in the platform's
If you're putting
long-term
all
health
your
either. But the streaming service
work
enjoyed
into
its fair
something that's
share of
basically
wins.
Stadia
The
2.0.
first of such victories manifested in Google's
For
Typhoon
Amazon.
Studios acquisition in December 2019, a purchase that occurred before the indie developer released its debut project, Journey to the Savage Planet. The studio, founded by Ubisoft and WB Games veterans Alex Hutchinson and Reed Schneider, most impressed Google's growing gaming division because of its AAA team and ability to build a high-quality game in under 3 years. According to Jade Raymond, Typhoon merely marked the start of Google's acquisition plans. In March 2020, Stadia Games and Entertainment added another firm to its stable, an outfit
Stadia
built
failed
from the
so
ground
hard.
up
It
in
really
Playa
did.
Vista, California,
Like, it
with former
crashed
God
and
of War
burned
studio
before
head
it was
Shannon
even out the
Studstill
door.
involved as studio director.
As
That
soon as they
same month
announced
also
it,
saw
really.
the division join forces with Gears Tactics co-developer Splash Damage on an unspecified Stadia exclusive. And Stadia updates throughout 2020 ensured an even greater number of users would have the opportunity to experience the fruits of Google's investments. For example, non-Google smartphones received Stadia support in early 2020. Stadia playability made its way to iPhone and iPad several months thereafter. Yet, a long-predicted blow to the games and entertainment vertical effectively negated every step taken towards securing the platform's viability.
This is something people may have heard about, but people understand this was so important to Phil that you moved
Oh,
your
here he
family
is.
over to the States from England because you're so excited about this project and what it represents for, I think, the future of the gaming industry.
That's
I'm
right.
really excited to sort of hear from you as someone.
On January 27,
I feel like the Stadia
2021,
is for people who don't play
Google
games.
VP Phil Harrison contacted staff via email, praising Games and Entertainment's great progress. Harrison's message further touted
I'm pretty sure the
Stadia as the
majority
best
of the
game
people that
streaming
have a
technology
Stadia
on the market,
were people that
and
wanted to
promised
review
that
it,
details
basically.
regarding the 2021 budget would soon be shared. This so-called rallying cry quickly revealed itself as the calm before the storm, an arguably misleading show of hope where none existed. Just 5 days after issuing the email, Harrison hosted a virtual meeting with in-house Stadia developers in which he informed them of the games division's closure. Sources who spoke to Wired said many were puzzled, given the messaging delivered a few days prior. Kotaku heard from sources claiming Harrison openly regretted the misleading email in a follow-up Q&A session. When pressed about what had changed between January 27th and the closure announcement, the VP allegedly admitted higher-ups knew the end was nigh. Naturally, this answer did nothing to quell the confusion of hundreds of workers who'd uprooted their
Those are
lives
gonna
for
play with
Stadia,
how fucked the
hoping
Stadia
for
pitch
stability
was
the
and
games
stuff,
industry
especially if they
seldom
played
offered,
online stuff.
only
Yeah.
to get laid off a year
Don't
or two
understand
later
people don't want
without
physical copies
sufficient
anymore.
explanation.
Like, I miss the days
Harrison's
of
statement
physical
on the
copies.
Google
They went
blog
all
noted
out
that
back in
because
the
AAA
day.
development's
You had
high
little
costs
booklets, you
continued to
had
grow
little story
exponentially,
shit,
the company thought it
little
best to
extras,
refocus
the
by expanding
artwork.
on the proven technology of Stadia. Achieving such ends necessitated a
Like, there's still,
long-term
I can't
sustainable
remember the name
business,
of it, but
which
there's
Google
like an
believed
online store
infeasible
thing
if its
where
efforts remained
they're
split
making like
between game
special,
production and
like
technology.
physical copies
Something
of
had to
games that
give.
don't usually
Stadia
have
Games
physical
and
copies.
Entertainment got
Like,
the
a lot of them
axe.
are indies and
As a
stuff.
consequence, every work in
And they're
progress
like,
Stadia exclusive
they always
immediately
sell
fell
out.
to the cutting room floor.
People want
A
physical
few
copies
people
of games.
familiar with the situation insisted the studio closures and subpar communication exemplified how poorly Google managed its gaming sector.
Thank you all for joining us. I suppose I should start out with a confession. I'm actually not a big gamer.
Shocker.
But I do play FIFA 19 quite a bit and really enjoy how immersive it is.
Upon taking the stage at Stadia's GDC 2019
I'm
unveiling,
sorry.
Google CEO
If you're not a
Sundar
big
Pichai
gamer,
joked of how little he knew about games.
if you're not
a confession that later provided the perfect segue to his introducing industry veteran Phil Harrison.
If you're,
the latter boasted of the 100-plus teams who'd received Stadia
if you're not,
access.
if you don't
then
know the
promoted
gaming
Stadia
world,
Games and
you shouldn't be in
Entertainment
charge
as
of
the new
it.
division that would craft groundbreaking exclusives. But according to former employees interviewed by Wired, Google didn't hire a lion's share of the developers needed for its initiative until after GDC. Developers recruited during what was essentially the 11th hour had no choice but to work with technology years in the making. This order of events created discordance between Google engineers and gaming hires, the latter of whom quickly discovered where the corporation's priorities lay. That Google operated as a tech company first and foremost hardly helped. And even with the appointments of Harrison and Raymond, the newly minted team seemed unequipped to foster content creation roles.
See, what a lot of people don't realize,
postings didn't previously exist.
See, what a lot of people don't realize is you don't make the money from the console. Usually, you lose money by making the console. You make the money from the games you sell it through. That's how you make the money. And I don't just mean like if you have exclusives. Just in general, that's how you make the money, is through the games on the console. That's how you make it.
Adjusting to the unique demands of game development proved yet another challenge. For one, Google's arduous hiring process made it difficult for lead developers to recruit staff in a timely fashion. Company policies were often at odds with the standards of game production too, such that security concerns reportedly forced Google to withhold permission for the use of certain software. Barriers of this nature further complicated an already complex ordeal. And when the necessary resources finally fell into place, COVID-19 stifled any chance at forward momentum.
Yeah,
COVID
fucked over like everybody, really.
Studio opened its doors in spring 2020 because of the pandemic. An internal memo from Pichai reasoned that slowing recruitment would benefit the continued support of a small number of strategic areas. Stadia wasn't part of the club. Several
Stadia didn't get the invite.
In the wake of the games and entertainment closure.
It wasn't invited to the cool table.
Who left to establish the now Sony-owned Haven Studios. At least 6 more staffers joined her a few months later. Still, Stadia trucked on throughout 2021, with news that Xbox players could stream Stadia games through the Microsoft Edge browser serving as its most noteworthy high point for the year. By the following year, even small victories were in short supply. The start of 2022 brought reports of the service's rebranding from Stadia to Google Stream, a desperate strategy Business Insider claimed would see Google licensing the technology to parties such as Capcom and Bungie. In August, Nerf Report's Bryant Chappell
I don't
provided
know what the
evidence
fuck
that
that was,
Google
but
had
something
begun
hit, like,
testing cloud gaming integration across its search engine
the
and
wall of the house,
Amazon Luna.
like near my
Any
window.
last-ditch effort to save the struggling
Outside.
service
I don't know what the
soon
fuck that
proved
was.
for naught, since Google announced in September 2022 that all Stadia services would cease on January 18th, 2023. In the end, the skeptics were right. Stadia amounted to little more
Yeah,
than another of Google's
saying a game
speedily
isn't
forsaken
exclusive if it
interests.
comes out
Sure,
also on
revolutionary
the
technology
PC
was
doesn't
squandered under the
make
weight
it
of
less
mismanagement,
exclusive. That's
and genuinely compelling
so,
experiences could have spawned
like you
from
said,
the
some
first
people only
parties.
have one
But
console and
as
that's
is
it.
often the case in the games
That's all
industry,
they can afford.
hundreds of designers, artists, programmers, and producers suffered
Use
the
the dolls.
most.
Are coming.
And
Don't.
because of
I'm trying
leadership's
to ignore the dolls.
incompetence, they have nothing of consequence to show for it.
Don't bring up the dolls. You know how I am with dolls. They're fucking creepy as hell. No matter what form they take.
Thank you for watching. We'd like to
You're
take this
welcome.
time to thank, by name, the generous patrons who have pledged to our Hall of Fame reward tier.
Yeah, that was.
Alex Moretti, and those currently subscribed to our producer reward tier.
That was Lies, Broken Promises, and the Death of Google Stadia by Gamers. They do a lot of these like little mini documentaries on games.
If you enjoy our content, please
So I'd
consider
recommend checking them
subscribing to
out
our
if you're
channel
interested in that.
and backing us on Patreon.
They're done pretty well. But yeah, the Google Stadia was going to fail from the beginning. It just was. Google needs to like step back and concentrate on what they do have. Like, they're already fucking up YouTube for years now. Can they just get back on track? You can't even get YouTube right, and that thing, you literally bought it. You literally bought it. All you had to do was maintain it. And you just keep fucking it up. Can't wait for the Amazon Luna follow-up. Yeah, I'm so tired of big corporations thinking they have great ideas when the majority of their successes are from like small teams they had to buy it from. I'm so exhausted. just fucking stop.